You may know how much I love to turn anything I can into a funny handbag. I mean, a pencil, fun. A log. That's not wood, that's leather. This one I didn't make, but I found it absolutely hilarious. Oui. And who can forget the Barbie car? Chérie, je prends la voiture aujourd'hui! Bonjour, I'm Ariel, your friendly French crafter, and if you don't know me, this is the kind of stuff that I do. And this year I'm trying to get back into reading more to fight the brainrot of short form formats. I am 4 months sober from TikTok, so... Merci. Non, arrêtez, merci. But also, why just read books when you can turn anything into a bag? Right? I also want some cute storage for my crafting supplies. All my drawing stuff is here, but I need a more portable option. So let's make a bookcase, bag, pouch thing. Okay, to the sewing room. Welcome to the sewing room. So, I want to work on several parts for this thing. It's a bag, but also I want it to be very useful in a lot of different situations. Please excuse the fact that I'm covered in hair. It is getting warmer and someone is shedding his winter coat. Oui, c'est toi. And yes, I'm always wearing black and... Un commentaire peut-être. Vas-y, raconte. D'accord. It kind of started with this. If you follow on Patreon, you see that I've started drawing again, which is very good for my mental health. And also in the winter, I really don't feel like doing anything besides staying under a pile of blankets doing little crafts that don't need me to stand up. So this has been my art supply pouch, which it is working fine. It's an old toiletry bag. I removed some parts because they were annoying. And what I really like about it is that you can open it and it is kind of a basket with all the stuff in it, like contained, and it's still not all over the table if I'm like traveling or if I'm drawing somewhere, crafting somewhere, that it is not a flat table where I risk to lose some of the junk that I have in there. So I'm really happy with this format. Also, I really like the fact that it is kind of A6 format. No. A5, which is the size of my sketchbooks. In case you don't use these paper formats, this is the standard A4 paper, and if you fold it in half, it's A5, A6, and so on. This is the reason we have these exact measurements, is that it's kind of scalable and still have the same format. So let's try to design something that would be useful and also very whimsy. Carton. Cutter. Cutting mat. I think I'm gonna stay with this format. It's really nice. Maybe it's a bit thick. I think as a book it could be like maybe stop here. Again, I really like this little basket thing. I kind of like to have the pockets on this side, but I don't know if a separator is what I want, because maybe I can make an extra one for the book cover, so it will be like this. Use also this. This thing is kind of useless actually. So what if we have a pouch here and 2 covers on the side, so they can have like pockets, they can be more sturdy like a book cover, while this part stays a bit soft, so I can kind of still open it from the front. And so maybe we can have a little strap. And this is one of my sketchbooks. So maybe I can also hold it like a pack of books with a leather strap around it. That would be fun. Maybe technically I could even fit the sketchbook. Okay. Let's just make a quick template with some cardboard. Okay, so trying to visualize, is it like too big, too small? I'm gonna try to make a mock-up in fabric. So if I want the zipper to be on the side, not in the middle of this thing, it has to be attached to this side of the bag. So they probably constructed the side piece, top stitch in front of it, and then the top and bottom. We're making this into one long strip. Do I have zippers? Yes! But do I have double zippers? I hoard a bunch of different things, and Fun fact, if you are in need of hardware, sometimes it's less expensive to just buy an old broken bag or something. Sometimes in charity shops or thrift store you can find really old stained cloth or leather bags, and they would be like €1, €2, which is so much less money than the hardware that is on it, because sometimes like a zipper could be €8. It's ridiculous. This one has 2 zippers, but they are on the opposite side. Why? Maybe I can invert one. Okay. Just want to check what this is made of. This is just a piece of plastic. It kind of feels like the cover for a binder. Okay, I know I said this was mock-up, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't try to make it nice. You know, since this will be the side of the book, it's where you see the pages, so I'm gonna make a few lines in this gold permanent marker, hopefully to simulate this. Okay, so now that I'm unfortunately excited just about the mock-up, I'm gonna try to use some fun fabrics, and finally I can use this one. I got it in the US, in Joann's. So if this is an art pouch, I mean, it's perfect, no? It's just gonna be the inside lining, so like a surprise. Zipper, outside. I'm gonna use some scrap of this fabric because it's kind of stiff. And lining. Sandwich. The idea here is to have all the layers of the height of the book into one single piece. We are not building the outside layer and then the lining layer and attaching them together. No, it's just one layer with all the pieces together. This will allow also to finish the both sides of the zippers, so it's all clean and neat from the outside and the inside. Top, bottom, maybe I can add pockets on the top. So if I have pockets here, I'm gonna make them a little bit. They are not completely flat, so I have just a little bit of space to put stuff in it. And we can chop the excess. So these are the inside layers, full of colors and fun, but they won't be visible from the outside. So this is flat, this has pockets. So what do I do on these sides? I'm gonna try to add a pocket on both. All I want is flat pockets everywhere, and there is no clear rule on where to add them. You see, whatever you have left of fabric, you attach them to the zipper, so you make sure that the inside of the zipper is finished, and then you see how big it is, you flatten it on your layer, and you chop off the excess. You can add a flat zipped pocket on basically any kind of piece of fabric. Imagine having it like on the inside of a shirt, or a sleeve, or a pocket, like a pocket inside a pocket. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, let's just assemble all the pieces together. And once I had one top sewn onto the side, I tried to add a little bias, as you can see, like that blue thing. But actually, I think it looks like rub. I mean, the pattern of this fabric is already so childish that I think this kind of color of bias tape makes it, I don't know, almost tacky. Maybe I'm not the best person to decide what is tacky and what is not, but it's my pouch. I do whatever I want, okay? So let's just remove it. It will not be the last time I have to undo something that I did wrong, but we'll keep that for later. We have a base for the pouch. Not finished, but functional. I hope you can appreciate how unexciting it looks from the outside. I mean, it's a white pouch, nothing fun about it. But the inside is fun and colorful. And of course, we're gonna make the book cover, which is gonna be the beautiful part. Maybe. I'm finishing the edges on the inside by hand because it's kind of the most practical. I'm trying not to pierce the fabric so I don't have any visible stitching on the outside. And we can go to the next step. The pocket is done, but now I need to make a cover, because you don't judge a book by its cover, but this one, I prefer that you don't judge it by its pages. And for that, let's use the embroidery machine. Of course, it can be done by hand, but it will take a lot longer. And you know, I've missed this kind of delicate music and sound that goes... stabilizer. Here I'm using the same stiffening stuff, but I also added some interfacing to it, so it's very, very stiff and very flat like cardboard. Ta-da! So cute! I bought a big bundle of embroidery files on Etsy many years ago, and I used this free tool to just assemble them together. And things like text and boxes and simple lines, I just use directly my sewing machine. There's kind of a few options that you can tinker with. But this is a tiny bit limited in terms of possibilities of designs. And sometimes I just make sizing mistakes. Oh no, it's way too small. Aww. So I would recommend to make some tests and make sure that your sizing and thread and all of this works with the fabric that you have before you use all of your fabric, like I did here. This is the last piece of red fabric. If you know about an embroidery software that works in 2026 where you can make your own designs and that is not ridiculously expensive like the Brother one that I'm supposed to use for this machine, which is 1,300 and is super crappy and looks like Illustrator in 2002, I would love your suggestion. Yeah, that should work much better. Okay, finally we can assemble all the pieces. I didn't expect such a simple, quote, project to have so many tiny pieces working together. Because I have a confession. This project was supposed to be a mock-up for another project, which is going to be the next video, hopefully. But now that I got excited about it and it is a full project, I usually overthink every single piece. My life would be so much easier if I just learned to let go a tiny bit, but no. But also I know I'm making a video about it, so I know plenty of people will watch it because that's what I want. But also it makes me anxious and self-conscious because what if people judge me? What if my teachers from fashion school are watching this video? What do they think? Coucou Isabelle. So much suffering that is a direct consequence of my own actions. Ew, what is that? Tape. Maybe I'm just hungry. That's probably it. I have one zipper left, so might as well just add a final pocket on the book cover. You never have enough pockets. And you see how sometimes old books, they might have a protected piece on the corners? I'm trying to recreate something like that with the scraps of red fabric that I have. I have just enough for the four corners and some similar ones. The spine will kind of spill over the front and back cover, and I'm adding a bit of batting between each line. It should give it a more cushiony look. Cushiony? The whole thing is sewn into one piece for the outside part, and the inside pockets and organizers, they are sewn like a lining. I hope that makes sense. As I'm doing this for both sides, I realized that I have my messed up embroidery piece from before, and I can use it for one more pocket. If I sew it right. Oh no, I messed up. It should have been sewn on the beige one. So we are back on track with the last pocket, kind of. It doesn't have a zipper, this one, but I think it could be useful for maybe papers and notes and whatever scrap for journaling. We can cut off the excess, and of course, before turning it inside out, remember we always have to clip the corners. Clippy clippy. It looks goofy like this, but nothing an iron cannot fix. Oh no! I wanted to add some plastic. We rip it off again. I think I'm getting tired. The other pouch had this little plastic piece to stiffen it, and also it's not cardboard, so it will resist some water. Not sure if I have this exactly, but I have some of this rhodoid. I used to have this to make like block patterns. This one was for a skirt, but this one was a failed and damaged one, so I'm gonna use that to stiffen my pages. I cut the pieces of plastic the exact size of the cover, so it's all snug and it's not moving around inside. since I've opened this again, maybe I can add the attachment. I want some way to keep the cover attached to the pages. So let's add these little clasps. They are magnetic. Oh, yeah. A bit too magnetic. To here. And I'm gonna have the little teeth go through the plastic as well. Hopefully this will make the whole thing more sturdy. This goes behind as well to make it more sturdy. You have the little feet go through it and then you bend them in place so the whole thing stays attached to the layers. Next I'm gonna add some rings. There is a bit of thread left. Little buckles. They will live here. The cover can finally be sewn shut by hand, and to connect the pouch with the cover I'm starting with some rivets to make sure that it is very sturdy and strong. With the rings I'm probably gonna be holding it by the cover, so let's make sure that it doesn't fall down. The pouch is also attached with some extra pieces of trim. I thought it was more neat and sturdy, but again I have to sew it by hand because of the plastic underneath. The second side of the snaps is added to the pouch itself, and I'm cleaning up the embroidery from all the loose threads. It's almost done! The final detail that I want is those two pieces with art on it. I want this to be attached to the tab of the zipper, that way it kind of looks like a bookmark, you know those ribbons? Of course a bit bigger and sturdy and cartoonish, but that's how I like it. And before I show you the final result, if you enjoyed my video, please give it a little like and subscribe. Or even better, subscribe to my Patreon. If you're already there, you've seen the result of how I redid this project, but better, enhanced, and in leather. Okay, subscribe! Bisous bisous!
And let temptation lead you by your lily hand. You will be moving your body to the dance when you cut it with that old viper man. You'll be high. You take one hit and you'll be swinging with the band when you hang around that old viper man. From that old viper man. Don't you take that fruit he's holding in his hand. Just one bite and you'll be swinging with the band.